I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. When When Calls the Heart premiered on Hallmark Channel in 2014, it promised heartfelt drama, picturesque frontier landscapes, and the enduring power of love and community. One of its most beloved faces, Jack Wagner, playing the stalwart and endearing Bill Avery, has been at the center of the show's moral compass and dramatic tension for nearly a decade. But in season 13, fans were stunned not by a court case, not by a mine reopening, but by a new arrival in Hope Valley. Melissa Gilbert, the beloved Little House on the Prairie icon, stepped into the role of Margaret Whitcomb, a widowed author seeking a quiet place to write and possibly to heal. What followed was a storyline no one expected on screen or off. Melissa Gilbert's casting was initially kept under wraps. Her arrival was quietly teased in early press releases as a woman from Bill Avery's past. When Margaret stepped off the train in the season 13 premiere, townspeople were curious, but not half as curious as fans on social media. What followed was a slow-burning, emotional arc that quickly became the season's most compelling storyline. Margaret Whitcomb was written as someone who shared history with Bill Avery, said showrunner Laurie Furneaux. But when Jack and Melissa stepped into the scene together, it was electric. The chemistry, the history, it felt like they'd been carrying this story for years. In When Calls the Heart, Margaret was revealed to be a childhood friend of Bill's from Chicago. They had parted ways during their early 20s, Bill to pursue law enforcement and Margaret to travel and write. Their reunion was awkward, filled with decades of unsaid things, but soon gave way to warm conversations by the fire, glances across the saloon, and walks through snow-covered streets. One memorable moment from episode 5. Bill offers Margaret his old notebook for ideas, he says. Instead, she discovers the last entry is a letter written but never sent to her, dated 30 years ago. That scene broke me, said a longtime fan on Reddit. I've loved Jack Wagner since Melrose Place, but this was different. This was grown-up love. It was healing. Behind the scenes, something was changing too. Jack Wagner and Melissa Gilbert have long admired one another's work. But it wasn't until they started filming together in Vancouver that their bond deepened. According to production staff, the two would often rehearse lines late into the evening, sharing stories about their early careers, their children, and their journeys through Hollywood's unforgiving landscape. They were like kindred spirits, said costume designer Ellie Green. Two veterans who'd seen it all in yet. When they laughed, it was like watching teenagers. Rumors began swirling when the two were spotted sharing dinner at a lakeside cabin during a weekend hiatus. And while both actors remained professional, insiders say their connection was undeniable. Hallmark is no stranger to romance, but what made Margaret and Bill's storyline so unique was its portrayal of later-life love. There were no grand gestures, no breathless kisses in the rain. Instead, there was quiet companionship. Real talk. Tender reconciliation. In episode 9, Margaret reveals she's been diagnosed with early rheumatoid arthritis. I'm not as strong as I used to be, she whispers. Bill takes her hand and says, then let me be strong for both of us. Just for today. Critics praise the show's boldness in portraying vulnerability and commitment in characters over 50-something, still rare in TV romance. Jack and Melissa brought such truth to their scenes, said director Neil Fernley. Their performances reminded us that love doesn't fade. It changes shape. It deepens. In a late-season press interview, Jack Wagner was asked directly about his chemistry with Melissa Gilbert. He smiled and responded carefully. Melissa is a remarkable person. Working with her has been one of the great joys of my career. When asked the same, Melissa echoed, Jack has a way of making you feel completely present. He listens, really listens. That's rare. As the season finale approached, tabloids began hinting at a possible off-screen romance fueled by paparazzi. Shots of the two actors walking hand in hand along the Vancouver shoreline. Fans were ecstatic. "Are we shipping them in real life now?" asked one fan on X, formerly Twitter. "Is this when calls the real heart?" The season 13 finale left viewers stunned. In a candlelit church, after a surprise town reading of Margaret's latest manuscript, Bill gets down on one knee, not with a ring, but with a key. To his home, no pressure. Just don't leave. Margaret's eyes well with tears. "I didn't come here to stay," she says softly. "But now, I don't want to. Go." Fade to black. The episode sparked a frenzy online. More satisfying than Elizabeth's entire love triangle. One viewer commented, "Finally, a storyline that respects age, growth, and second chances. I need the Bill and Margaret spin-off stat." Fan. Accounts created dedicated pages overnight. Bill and Margaret edits on TikTok gained over 1 million views within a week. With a viral caption, "When mature love steals the show." Though neither actor has publicly confirmed a real-life romance, insiders say Melissa is considering relocating part-time to Vancouver, where Jack has resided during filming breaks. Season 14 is already in development. And while details are tightly guarded, producers confirm that both Wagner and Gilbert are returning in expanded roles. There's more of Bill and Margaret to tell, for no confirmed. We're just getting started. Jack Wagner, now in his 60s, reflects on this chapter with quiet grace. "In a town like Hope Valley, everything slows down," he said in a behind-the-scenes documentary. "It gives you space to feel again. And maybe that's what I needed too." As for Melissa Gilbert, "Playing Margaret allowed me to revisit parts of myself I thought were gone," she shared. And reconnecting with Jack with the craft has been its own beautiful surprise. In a show where lanterns light the way and snowflakes fall like blessings, the unexpected romance of Bill, Avery, and Margaret Whitcomb has captured imaginations worldwide. But perhaps the greatest love story isn't scripted. It's the real connection between two icons who found each other in a quiet town called Hope Valley. And to that, we raise a lantern, because sometimes when the heart calls, it's never too late to answer.